Good evening. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
We now have two standards of justice. As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up. Can you believe that? Way up.
Be advised, Capitol Police One advised they're trying to breach and get into the Capitol.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6, 2021, was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election. Good afternoon. Today, an indictment.
Special Counsel Jack Smith has asked the United States Supreme Court to weigh in on the question of whether former President Donald Trump is immune from prosecution in the federal case charging him with plotting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. This is a legally untested question. There's nothing in the Constitution or the case law that talks about whether a former president can be charged. And so the special counsel's office wants an expedited, rapid determination from the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, to determine once and for all that, in fact, a former president is not exempt from prosecution and that there are situations in which a former commander-in-chief can, in fact, be indicted and can, in fact, be put on trial. All the parties here are operating on a ticking clock. The trial is scheduled to start next March, but of course the presidential election is also scheduled for the fall of 2024.
Yes.
In a desire to resolve these questions once and for all, and have a final say from the top court in the land, Jack Smith decided to go right straight ahead to the Supreme Court to make sure there was no ambiguity and no second guessing. And that's not normally the way the process would work. Normally, you would ask the DC Appeals Court, the circuit court here, for that. And so now he's asking the Supreme Court instead. It would be unusual, and in fact, there's really not much time for the Supreme Court to add a new case to the docket and to decide it under the time frame that Jack Smith wants. So this is really unclear exactly what's going to happen, but in order to hedge his bet, Jack Smith is also simultaneously asking for the appeals court to expedite taking up this issue too, in the event that the Supreme Court does not.
it's going very well. It's another day that we've been proving totally innocent. The expert witness, one of the most respected people in the country, worked for major corporations. You heard it all. He's at the Stern School of Business at NYU, a top professor. He reviewed fully the documents that this horrendous Attorney General put forth, and he found absolutely no fraud